Meet Maaike, or perhaps you'll know her better as my, or Maaike me. And today, Maaike is celebrating her 14th birthday. Born on the 20th of July 2012, Maaike's sire is Marcus 441. Maaike arrived at Greenbank in April 2016 at 4 years old alongside her friend Nurture, who we have now sadly lost. Originally, the move was only meant to be temporary. After their owners lost their grazing, everyone expected they would return home once the circumstances had improved. Sadly, life had other ideas. As time passed, payments stopped, communication became less frequent, and eventually it stopped altogether. Following the legal abandonment process, ownership of both mares was transferred to Tracy. From that moment onwards, Maaike's future became secure. She was home forever. If you've never met Maaike before, there's something you should know. Maaike is a bit like an onion. There are lots of layers to peel back before you really get to know her. She isn't the horse you'll understand in 5 minutes. She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. Unlike the likes of Hannes, who will quite happily decide you're his newest best friend before you've even finished saying hello, Maaike prefers to conduct a rather thorough interview process. She watches, she listens, she quietly sizes you up. She wants to know whether you're calm, whether you're predictable, whether you're someone she feels she can trust. Because of that, Maaike has always tended to prefer calmer, quieter people. That can be adults or calm, gentle children who are happy to let Maaike set the pace. It's never been about age, it's all about energy. Young children are naturally full of excitement and energy. They can move quickly, they can change direction without warning. They laugh, they run, they do exactly what children should do. But for a mare like Maaike who finds comfort in routine and predictability, that level of energy can sometimes feel overwhelming and can cause her a bit of anxiety. Calm, steady people are simply easier for her to understand. And when she understands someone, when she knows what to expect, that's when she'll begin to let her guard down. And once she does, you'll discover she really is one of the sweetest mares you could ever hope to meet. She absolutely adores scratches, especially neck scratches. She'll melt into them, close her eyes, and just soak up the attention. And stand there looking as though life simply couldn't get any better. Well, until she decides she's had enough. And then she'll just walk away. Because that's another thing about Maaike. Affection is entirely on her own terms. Someday she'll wander over in the field asking for scratches before you've even reached her. And other days she'll give you a look that very clearly says, "I'm terribly sorry, but I'm not currently accepting visitors." Maaike knows exactly what she likes and exactly what she doesn't like. And she has absolutely no hesitation in letting everyone else know about it. If she were a person, she'd probably be one of those exceptionally successful corporate lawyers. Always perfectly organised and always perfectly dressed. Always 5 steps ahead. Always convinced she's right. And, to be fair, she usually has a fairly convincing argument. She's probably spent her mornings winning impossible court cases and suing the life out of people before dedicating her afternoons to environmental law, because underneath all that determination is someone who genuinely cares. And that's Maaike all over. Strongly minded, incredibly sensitive, intelligent, kind, and quietly determined to make the world fit into the neat little routine she's created in her own head. Routine is important to Maaike. She likes to know what's happening. She likes to know when it's happening. And she'd really rather everyone stick to the plan. Unexpected changes? Not ideal. Rushing Maaike? Even less ideal. She likes to have time to think, time to process, time to work everything out before making a decision. Walking Maaike back down to the field has always been a little entertaining. Heading off the yard and walking down the drive, she'll walk, then stop, then walk again, then stop, then spend a few minutes looking around as though she suddenly remembered something very important. Then she'll carry on, then stop again. It's less like leading a horse and more like accompanying someone who's forgotten where they've left their car keys. Stop again and carefully assess the situation. Another opportunity to make sure everything is exactly as it should be. Then, when she's off the drive on the top of the hill going down, sometimes she'll suddenly decide she'd quite like to jog. Apparently, all that careful consideration was simply preparation for an enthusiastic walk back down to the field. She's full of little contradictions like that. Perhaps that's why she's fascinating. One thing has always been obvious though. Maaike always wants to do the right thing. She is, without question, one of the most conscientious horses you'll ever meet. When she isn't sure what you're asking, she becomes worried. She thinks harder. She tries harder. She so desperately wants to find the right answer that sometimes she'll tie herself in knots searching for it. That's always been Maaike. Not a horse trying to get out of work, but a horse trying her absolute hardest to get it right. As we know, behaviour is almost always communication. She has never been a horse who creates drama for the sake of it. If she's telling you something, it's because she genuinely has something to say. In January 2017, as a 5-year-old, Maaike officially began her training. Later that same year, Tracy backed her. Right from the beginning, it was obvious she wasn't going to be a horse you could rush. She was incredibly sensitive young mare. Everything had to happen at a pace she was comfortable with. Push too quickly, and she'll tell you she had enough. Slow things down, explain things clearly, and she'd try her absolute heart out for you. It didn't take long for the anxious youngster to reveal who she really was. Beneath all of that overthinking was a mare who was incredibly sweet, bold, brave, curious about the world around her, and perhaps most importantly, desperately eager to learn. She genuinely wanted to get things right. She had the movement, she had the athleticism, she had the work ethic. The difficulty came whenever she wasn't entirely sure what the right thing actually was. Then there was hacking. Let's just say Maaike occasionally had opinions. If something felt difficult or confusing, or she was pushed outside of her comfort zone, she wasn't afraid to share those opinions. Instead of quietly guessing, she'd overthink it. She'd carry more and more tension through her body. She'd worry until eventually all of those emotions needed somewhere to go. That's when Maaike's temper tantrums would appear. These weren't always naughty temper tantrums, they were overwhelmed tantrums. Maaike wasn't saying, "I don't want to do this." She was saying, "I don't know if I can do this." Of course, being a compact little powerhouse with incredibly strong hindquarters meant she had some rather creative ways of expressing those feelings. She could plant herself, she could back up, she could spin, or she could rear beautifully. In fact, Tracy has often said that if there was ever one horse she could have taught to rear on command, it would have been Maaike. She was naturally brilliant at it because she had so much power in her back legs. She was balanced, powerful, and elegant. Not always particularly useful, but undoubtedly impressive. If rearing had been its own competition, Maaike would have taken home gold. And when someone takes the time to listen to Maaike, she'll give you absolutely everything she's got. Like every horse, Maaike had things that came naturally and things that didn't. Much of her schooling focused on improving her straightness and suppleness. Those things never particularly came easy to her. Not because she wasn't capable, but because her body found them harder than some other horses. Maaike also has a curve through her spine, giving it more of an S shape. She isn't naturally soft through her back and holds more tension. She also has found her seasons particularly uncomfortable, and she's on a supplement called Agnus Castus, which can help. Rather than expecting her to simply carry on regardless, Tracy's always listened to what Maaike was telling her through her tail swishing when she was in season. If she wasn't comfortable, Tracy didn't do anything with her. She is beautifully put together, compact, powerful, athletic, a little powerhouse. And then there are the feet, or as we affectionately call them, her dinner plates. If you're ever trying to identify Maaike from the others, simply look at the feet. If you found some that look like dinner plates, you've probably found her, unless it's Hoitzer. In 2018, she attended the KFPS inspections, where she was awarded second Prime Minister and became UK Reserve Champion Mare. The hope had always been to return in 2020 and see whether she might even achieve first Premier. Sadly, COVID meant those inspections never took place. It's one of those what ifs we'll never know the answer to. But knowing Maaike, she would have certainly given it her absolute everything. She's also enjoyed success in dressage. When she did do dressage, she regularly finished in the top 3 places. When Maaike understands what's being asked of her, she truly comes alive. Her movement becomes expressive, her confidence grows, and suddenly you weren't watching an anxious young mare anymore. You were watching a mare who had discovered just how capable she really is. The worried little 5-year-old who questioned everything gradually became an incredibly enjoyable horse to ride. Not because she stopped thinking, she'd simply learnt to trust the person asking her the questions. In 2022, we did start driving training with Maaike. Tracy always thought that she would look absolutely beautiful in harness. With her elegant movement, compact frame, she did look like a driving horse. But life simply took things in a different direction before the journey was fully completed. These days she lives out with Hida and the other girls and seems perfectly happy. Unlike some horses, she's never really attached herself to one particular best friend. Some horses become inseparable, like Hinna and Vienna. If you see one, you'll almost certainly see the other. Not Maaike. She enjoys being part of the herd. She likes everyone around her. She simply doesn't seem to need one special friend. She's wonderfully independent in that respect. Happy to have company without needing to be the centre of someone else's world. Although, she'd probably still quite like to be the centre of Tracy's world. That little streak of jealousy and being a green-eyed monster will never completely disappear. If another horse is receiving attention that Maaike thinks should quite clearly belong to her, she notices immediately, particularly if Trace is involved. You can almost hear her internal monologue. Excuse me, I believe you've made a mistake. I'm over here. Surely I'm the horse you intended to be fussing over. She doesn't always march over dramatically. Sometimes she simply stands and watches. Those expressive eyes saying everything, long before she takes a single step. One thing that has remained exactly the same throughout her life is Maaike's wonderfully expressive face and eyes. You can tell almost exactly what she's thinking simply by looking into her eyes. Some days she has the softest expression imaginable, gentle, kind, and relaxed. Those are her famous Maaike Moo eyes. They're so soft and gentle that she generally looks a bit more like a cow than a Frisian sometimes. Then there are the dragon eyes. Suddenly, every muscle is just a little tighter. Every human receives a slightly suspicious look. It's impossible not to notice the difference. If Maaike hasn't been up to the yard for a little while, those dragon and suspicious eyes are often the first thing you'll see. She'll arrive looking around as if she's conducting a full health and safety inspection. Have those buckets moved? Why am I stood on this side with the tie-ups? Everything is questioned. Everything is analysed. Everything is viewed with a little bit of suspicion. Then she settles. She relaxes. Perhaps she's had a little bit of pamper time or enjoyed a PMF session. You can almost watch the tension leave her body. The dragon eyes soften, the cow eyes return. Her whole expression and demeanour changes. It's as though she's let out a quiet sigh and remembers, actually, everything's okay. If you look at her eyes, doesn't tell you how Maaike's feeling. Her neck certainly will. She has a neck movement and we simply call it Maaike's neck thing. No one really needs to explain what that means. If someone says, oh, she's doing her neck thing, everyone instantly knows. She lowers her head and rolls and flicks her neck out to the side, almost as though she's physically trying to shake away the tension she's been carrying. It's become one of those wonderfully familiar little Maaike habits, as recognisable as her dinner plate feet, or her dragon eyes, or her wonderfully determined personality. They're all just part of what makes Maaike, Maaike. Of course, no birthday video about Maaike would be complete without talking about what happens when she starts getting a little too big for her boots. Now, unlike Annie, who has spent years perfecting her title as the undisputed Queen of Greenbank, Maaike isn't actually the Queen. She simply seems to think there has been some sort of admin oversight. In Maaike's ideal world, she wouldn't be living out in the field, because that's beneath her. She'd permanently live on the yard, preferably in Annie's position. She'd expect breakfast to arrive precisely on time, lunch a little while later, and of course, afternoon tea would obviously be a non-negotiable. Plenty of pamper sessions, unlimited neck scratches, and a full team whose sole purpose in life was making sure Maaike remained perfectly happy. After all, she's Maaike. Why would she expect anything less? Of course, reality is ever so slightly different. In the past, Maaike has been given the privilege of free reigning around the yard. In theory, it's wonderful. She gets to wander where she likes and enjoy the freedom of the yard. In reality, well, it occasionally goes straight to her head after a little while of being a free reigner. She'll confidently march into the big box where another horse is quietly minding their own business. She'll pin her ears back and make a face by saying, excuse me, I believe you're in my stable. And very firmly suggest / demand that they vacate the premises immediately, which they will do apart from if it's Annie, because then it would be the other way round. Her ego grows and the confidence grows, and before long she's wandering around the yard as though she owns the deed to Greenbank. The trouble is, being allowed to free rein isn't a right, it's a privilege. Privileges have to be earned. More importantly, they have to be kept. A free reigning place is never guaranteed. It can disappear as quickly as it arrived. So every now and then, when she was free reigning, Maaike had become just a little too convinced of her own importance. Someone has to gently remind her that evicting your fellow free-reigning friends from the stable isn't considered particularly friendly behaviour. The result? She went back down to the field. Simply because being part of the free-reigning club comes with certain expectations. You follow the rules, stay to the boundaries, and of course, you be nice to all your fellow free-reigning friends. Maaike is still working on that life lesson. Now, to be fair, she's never reached Annie's level of being a diva. Maaike, she is a diva, but no one can out-diva Annie. Annie knows exactly when to stand her ground, exactly when to walk away. She's strategic, calculated, the true queen. Maaike, on the other hand, is more like an enthusiastic princess who's convinced the crown already belongs to her. Then there are her wonderfully enormous dinner plate feet. Those feet seem to have a personality of their own, particularly at breakfast time. Because breakfast, Maaike is an entirely different mare. Suddenly all the careful thinking disappears. All the over-analysing vanishes. She becomes rather remarkably decisive. If another horse has a feed bowl, there's a very big possibility Maaike decides she'd quite like it. She'll confidently flounce across the playground and decide someone else's breakfast looks considerably more appealing than her own, and just help herself because she can. And it's normally pour down, pour inner, or pour Vienna. Whoever happens to stand the closest with a bowl is generally fair game, as long as it isn't Hida and sometimes Mabel. In Maaike's defence, as she would say, she's simply making sure everyone has exactly the right breakfast. She's just happened to think hers should include theirs too. Then there are the moments that remind you that she's still a big kid underneath it all. Take her to the beach, and suddenly this sensible, organised little lawyer completely disappears. Instead, she splashes, and splashes, and splashes some more. 'Cause she has to make sure she stretches her shoulders. Completely unconcerned that whoever is standing near is getting soaked. If you're standing nearby, accept now that you're going home soggy. As far as Maaike is concerned, she's having fun, and everyone else should probably be soggy too. It's one of those moments where you see the carefree side of her, the side that simply enjoys the little things. She's simply unmistakably Maaike. Still wonderfully quirky, still opinionated, still convinced she's destined for greater things, but she's also kind, gentle, sensitive. She's one of our very sensitive souls, and a mare who has become such a special part of Greenbank.